As Black Adam would neatly put it, the hierarchy of power in the DCEU is about to change. Oh, this line aged like fine wine. With James Gunn donning the mantle as DC's new boss, we're seeing some massive changes happening in DC's canon. In today's video, we'll be discussing what these major changes are and what the future of the DCEU may look like. Let's dive straight in. First up, Darkseid actor responds to shakeups. Who better to give his views than the DC's endgame, Darkseid? Uxas actor Ray Porter gives his 2 cents on Henry Cavill's abrupt departure and the recent DC developments. After emphatically returning to the franchise with a cameo in Black Adam, it was quite the plot twist when Henry Cavill posted his farewell speech on Instagram announcing his departure. The speech was heartfelt, and we couldn't stop imagining Henry Cavill flying off into the sunset, giving a final monologue as the Man of Steel. There wasn't much left to say for fans other than to thank Henry for his dedication to the role and for delivering some memorable moments to remember forever. Henry Cavill commenced the DCEU with the Man of Steel in 2013 and became the face of the Kryptonian over the years. And as James Gunn has apparently shelved the progenitor of Zack Snyder's vision for the franchise, it's safe to say we're looking for a clean sweep on the storyline for DC, and that includes Darkseid himself. Zack Snyder's Justice League gave us our first look at how the DCEU could have panned out if everything ran smoothly, with Darkseid making an epic appearance to threaten Earth's superheroes. Actor Ray Porter shared his views on the shakeups, saying that he's nothing but grateful for being chosen to play Apocalypse's God with an image that sums the character up. But are the rumors true? Is DC starting from scratch? Coming up, why Henry's exit may be a major mistake. CEO James Gunn didn't waste any time stirring up the DCEU as soon as he took office, though he has been rather candid with the cancellations taking place, taking it to social media. After Henry's departure, James posted statements on future plans for Kal-El, where we will be seeing a much younger version of him in the universe, hence why Henry Cavill doesn't fit the mantle anymore. The story will not be an origin story, however, it will expand on Clark Kent's early days in Metropolis. Honestly, as much as we trust James and his creativity, imagining anyone else as Superman is difficult. Like, come on, look at those shoulders. But besides the casual thirsting, Henry Cavill's prowess as an actor needs no introduction. When Man of Steel first came out, fans were ecstatic by how comic-accurate Cavill looked as the Man of Steel. Considering the options we have today, there seems to be no one naturally gifted to don the role of Clark Kent and do it justice. But what does Henry's exit mean for the superheroes in the franchise? Now, next up, we have the DC reboot. What makes this a hard reboot is DC's cancellation of other upcoming titles, such as Patty Jenkins's Wonder Woman 3, whose story no longer coincided with James Gunn's future plans for the franchise. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is too looking to be shelved, with Jason Momoa expected to have a change of roles as Lobo. Allegedly, Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill's cameos have been cut from the upcoming Flash movie, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has unfollowed Warner Brothers and Black Adam on Instagram. Yikes. We may even see Ben Affleck's swan song for his role in the upcoming Flash movie. Where there were some rumors floating around to bring Pattinson into the mainstream continuity, James was quick to dismiss them, claiming that Batman is a big part of the DCEU separate from Matt Reeves' vision. With Pattinson out of the equation, fans expect a recasting with a more youthful Batman to go hand in hand with their vision of Supes. Whatever the decision may be, we're just glad Batman is still at the center of the Justice League. It's exciting times to be a DC fan, having been under the shadow of arch-rivals Marvel, at least in the cinematic universe spectrum. But how soon can we get some concrete information on DC's future? Next up, a new slate. Looks like we won't have to wait much longer to know where James Gunn is heading with DC's story. James tweeted how he and Peter Safran have already readied a brand new slate of movies that will be announced early into the new year. Previously, James also confirmed a 10-year plan that will give the story enough room to build ample ground before advancing to an inevitable Justice League spectacle, something that was evidently lacking in the Snyderverse, that was seen rushing too quickly into significant developments. Hopping ships from Marvel, James Gunn is well aware of the ingredients needed to make a grand and compelling cinematic universe. Being an integral part of the Russo brothers' Avengers Endgame lineup, fans are already buzzing to put the pieces together and figure out what Gunn has in store for everyone in DC's future. The only confirmed movie on the slate is Superman. We can predict some lesser-known characters to make it into the collection of titles. And now, shedding light on some lesser-known characters. It's always been the Batman and Superman when it came to DC, not that we're complaining. To build depth around a storyline, there needs to be supporting characters to give it the icing on the cake. Luckily, DC's source material has enough characters to choose from. Recent developments saw the cancellation of CW's Arrowverse and Batgirl, which was supposed to air on HBO Max. James Gunn and Peter Safran look to rejuvenate DC's myriad of intriguing side characters. James took to Twitter to respond to a fan saying that he wishes to focus on both well-known and lesser-known characters simultaneously, keeping a wholesome balance that will better the franchise's prospects. This opens up a lot of conversations about who we might see added to the mix of superheroes. superheroes. There are rumors floating claiming we might see Jason Momoa reprising his role with Lobo, and finally an official return for the boy wonder, Robin, on the big screen. If we just talk about Gotham, we're hoping to see a more mystical element incorporated into the mix as compared to a more grounded rendition of the crime-ravaged city. This will open up a slew of possibilities for the likes of Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and Deadman to be introduced. Speaking of Gotham's villains, what does the future hold for James Gunn's very own Suicide Squad and Peacemaker series? So now we're looking at Peacemaker and Suicide Squad 3. Before wearing the CEO cap, James Gunn made his directorial debut in the DCEU with his rendition of Suicide Squad, released in 2021. The movie was well received and did everything David Ayer's Suicide Squad simply couldn't. This sudden shift in tone in the DC franchise showed James Gunn's competency in a leadership role, which was exactly what we needed to see. So much so that he led the direction for a spin-off series with HBO Max's Peacemaker. With the complete revamping of DC's story in the palm of his hands, James's creations might be in a perplexing spot. Suicide Squad's soft reboot kept connections with Ben Affleck's Batman, with the likes of Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, and Rick Flag all making their way to the film. With the future of Batfleck in jeopardy, it is only fair to think a Suicide Squad 3 may not see the light of day. When it comes to Peacemaker, James might have gunned himself in the foot, establishing even greater connections with the DCEU, where the season finale saw cameos from Aquaman and The Flash. We also saw silhouettes of Wonder Woman and Superman, further confirming ties with the Snyderverse. It'll be interesting to see how the writers will try and salvage the franchise with these titles intact, considering the success and potential they have garnered for themselves. Considering the trade-off with an epic Justice League spectacle at the end of James Gunn's plans, the sacrifice might well be worth it. And now, it is time for Kingdom Come. All these drastic changes and developments make you wonder, what's the build-up for? It's only fair that the franchise keeps Justice League as the spectacle it all leads up to. And following a cryptic post from James Gunn on social media, we might be on the cusp of Kingdom Come. The image that made circles around the internet depicted an artwork taken straight from one of DC's most beloved and epic storylines, Kingdom Come. In it, we have Earth's warriors all gathered around a table, led by an older, grayer Superman. The room includes the likes of Mr. Terrific, Lobo, and Wonder Woman. The issue was a 4-part limited series by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. We see Supes coming out of retirement to show the new age of superheroes in the right direction. Considering the story's appeal, it's only befitting to have Kingdom Come at the end of the 10-year plan orchestrated by the DC heads. The post may only be an indication that Gunn and Safran are merely making plans for the franchise. As the caption states, our bet is on the latter judgment. Even our Shazam, Zachary Levi, tweeted the image showing his excitement. Same Zach, same. And finally, James gunning for DC glory. James Gunn's appointment as co-CEO could prove to be exactly what DC needed. The vision was always there, with promising attempts from the likes of Patty Jenkins, James Wan, David Ayer, and Zack Snyder himself. Where DC fell short was directorial freedom and unnecessary drama that surround the franchise. Say what you will about James's big decisions so far, there is no denying he is a man who will not stray away from his vision as a director, which is good news for all those bringing DC's future scripts to life. An expansive 10-year plan will do everything the Snyderverse aimed to do, but better, with a narrative that is less rushed and has ample time to establish the Justice League in their standalone storylines. Amidst the farewells and sad departures, oh, what a time to be alive for a DC fan. That's a wrap for this video. What are you most excited about in the new DCEU? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. We'll see you in the next one.